Lately, what I've been working on is detachment and letting go of control and letting go of feeling like I need to help people or feeling like I need to work hard or do things a certain way, and just surrendering and trusting and letting go and releasing attachments to people and things that are no longer serving me. And releasing attachments is the completion of the healing cycle, because that's crown chakra work when you are learning to surrender and release attachment. And we go through these cycles many times, starting from the root, going up to the crown. Every time that you're releasing attachment or releasing addiction, letting go of relationships, this is you releasing an old version of yourself and stepping into a new life. And it's the completion of the cycle. So that's where I'm at right now. And I have felt pretty detached for a while now from the person that I've been trying to detach from. Like, logically, I'm like, I would never go back to this person. I would never choose to be with them again. Even if there's a part of me that wants to, I'm gonna choose to be the other part of me. And I'm gonna recognize that I deserve something better and that there is something better out there for me, and I'm not gonna accept this. I'm gonna step into a new version of me and a new life. But then there are moments where the desire comes up and I do wish I could be with this person. I wish that they could heal in the exact same way as me and that we would be compatible again. And when that happens, I try to just allow it to happen and be present with it, because detachment is really about accepting where you're at instead of trying to change it. And today on the new moon, I found myself in a kind of nostalgic mood, feeling kind of lonely, which is something I haven't experienced in the last few months really. But my brain kind of goes to this place of like, okay, how do I fix this and feel appreciative and grateful and get back into a positive mental state? And then I realized that that's the mindset that I need to heal from, because that's me trying to control things and thinking that things should be different than how they are, and thinking that I should feel different than how I feel. But when you actually lean into how you're feeling and just let yourself feel it, it's not that bad to experience negative emotions. They're only like so bad because we're constantly resisting them usually. But when you just accept, like, this is where I'm at, I'm missing something, I'm nostalgic, I feel a little bit lonely, this is where I'm at in life and that's okay, and I'm gonna let myself feel it, it kind of just becomes this like beautiful experience. And it's like cool that you get to be a human and have all these different emotions, and even if they're a little bit negative, they feel like kind of good and magical when you stop resisting them. So that's something I've really been learning, because I really had this tendency to want to control things in my life and want to change things. And that comes from fear and insecurity and feeling like we need things to be a certain way, and not trusting and not thinking that this is where we're meant to be, and recognizing that everything is perfect already and it's okay however you're feeling, and this is how you're supposed to be feeling, which is really the mindset that I've been overcoming. I think that the universe doesn't give you what you want. The universe gives you what you need and what's best for you always. And you don't know what's best for you, the universe does. And the universe is always guiding you with your emotions and with your intuition. But when you try to override that and use your logic, you're just pulling yourself further away from the things that you actually want. Life doesn't have to make logical sense. And sometimes I find myself thinking I should post regularly, I should post every single day. And then I remember that if the universe wanted me to have money, they would give me money. If they wanted me to have success, they would give me success. If I'm meant to have something, the universe can give it to me instantly, and I don't have to try or do anything more to get that. And so that's just something I have to constantly remind myself of, to actually do what I desire doing and enjoy the process, instead of thinking that there's a set of rules I need to follow and that I need to do things a certain way and I need to work hard even when I don't feel like it. And the reason that we want things is because we want to feel good, right? We're gonna feel good when we get the outcome that we want. But that's just like a split second, and then it's on to the next thing that you want, because that's just how our brains work. But if you instead focus on enjoying the process and enjoying every step of the way that gets you there, and doing the things that make you feel good on the way there, then you have the potential to feel good for a way longer period of time, when you can enjoy the process instead of being focused on the outcome and ignoring what feels good to you in the moment because you're so focused on a certain outcome. I think that nothing can take what's meant for you, and nothing is above God to me. Like, I don't know better than God, so logically, following my own logic is not going to get me somewhere better than my intuition. And the algorithm is not more powerful than God. I don't think the algorithm controls my ability to be successful. I think that whatever's meant for you will always find you and nothing can take it from you. But the more that you're able to follow your intuition and your joy, the faster you're going to be able to get there. And this is something that I'm learning to apply to my interactions with people as well, because I think that people pleasing comes from two places. The first one is insecurity, fear, instability, and this need for validation, right? But it also comes from a place of really caring about people, wanting to help people, being upset when other people are upset, being uncomfortable when other people are upset, actually genuinely caring about people and not wanting to see them suffer or struggle, and having that make you uncomfortable. And so you want to control situations and you really want to help people. And so for the first stuff, the insecurity and stuff, those are the lower chakras. That's like the root chakra, solar plexus, sacral. But when it comes to the need to control and help everyone, that's when you need to heal your third eye and crown chakra, because the reality is that we don't know what's best for everyone. We don't know how to help everyone, and you helping people is actually enabling them. It's actually preventing them from building trust with themselves, finding confidence in themselves, finding solutions for themselves, which are all of the things that really help us to grow and feel better about ourselves and create better lives for ourselves. So we actually need people to not be as involved in our lives and in our healing as much as sometimes we think that we do. And when I started healing, I didn't have doctors, I didn't have anyone helping me. And that's when I finally felt empowered and actually started healing and really seeing results. And so that's crown chakra healing, when we can surrender and we can understand that everyone has everything that they need, and it's not up to you to control other people and control reality and try to fix things and try to change things. Don't even try to change yourself. When you can just start learning to accept everything and stop resisting what's happening to you and stop resisting what you're feeling and stop always wanting to be somewhere else or wanting to change the way that you feel and the things that you think. But also, if you're feeling like you want to change things, like, also accept that part of you. If you're feeling like you need to fix things, accept that part of you. And all these different parts of you that come up, just accept them and love them and understand them, give them your attention. But then you get to choose which feelings you act on, and that's what's going to determine your reality and how healed you are. So I have feelings coming up of wanting to help people, being like, I see this person struggling, I know the solution to their problems, and then I have the choice, do I tell them the solution? Even though I think that you can only learn from what people say if you already understand the concept and have learned it yourself and experienced it for yourself. Like, if you're watching this video and this is resonating with you, it's because you have this knowledge within you already. You've already experienced it. You know what I'm talking about. It applies to your life and you've lived it. So I think even when we try to use words to help people, they can only go so far as whatever they already know. Otherwise, they're just not going to be able to apply it to their lives. And if you're telling them something that they don't fully grasp yet, then it's just a waste of your time, because it's something they need to learn on their own and that they're not going to understand until they learn it on their own. And then that's what gives them confidence and healing and power, is when they're able to find that answer on their own. And I guess this is still me analyzing everything and trying to make sense of it and trying to justify why I don't need to help people. But even all of that aside, I just surrender, I just trust the universe blindly, and I just try to let go and not control things. And when other people are struggling and in pain, I actually don't take it on anymore. I don't feel it anymore. And that's not a bad thing, that's actually a good thing. And I feel like I'm able to have much more of a positive impact on people now that I don't feel what other people are feeling, because it can become really debilitating and depressing and kind of just make you freeze up. But also, if you still are really affected by other people's moods, that's okay too. And everyone's at different places in their journey, and wherever you're at is fine. Nothing is really more desirable than something else or better than something else. We're all exactly where we're meant to be, and try to just accept wherever you're at and accept all these parts of yourself and know that this is exactly how it's supposed to be happening for you. I used to feel like I wanted to help people who were religious and had a lot of fear-based thinking, and I would kind of judge them and think that's a worse way of thinking, because there is fear, there is guilt, there's all these negative emotions. But the reality is that we're all supposed to have different belief systems. We're all supposed to have different human experiences. I don't know what's best for everyone. I just surrender to a higher power and trust in that. And it's not my job to change things and to decide what's best. This is just what the human experience is. Like, there's no reaching perfection. Like, it's about learning and growing and having all of these different experiences and experiencing the contrast. And so it's necessary for people to have different belief systems, and that's something that they chose, and that's something that I want to respect in everyone. Not that I ever was like preaching my religious beliefs or spiritual beliefs to anyone or like trying to change them, but I would just be like watching like religious YouTube videos and kind of judging them and being like, oh, like I don't like how they are saying like the spirit of depression is possessing them. I just like thought negatively about it, and it kind of made me uncomfortable and it made me want to help them. But now as I've been detaching, I don't see it as a negative anymore. I'm like, it's a beautiful thing that these people are benefited by their religion, even if it's not 100% ideal and there's still some fear and negative beliefs. Like, they're helping so many people who are open to this type of religion, and this is their path, this is what they wanted to experience, and who am I to say they should be doing it a different way? I feel like I've mostly detached from the things that I want to detach from, specifically a certain person who I feel like is very representative of my old life. And my old identity is kind of very much tied up in this person. So I feel like once I'm able to release this person, that will really be the completion of the cycle, and I'll really be able to step into a new version of me in a new life. I rarely feel negative emotions about it. I'm able to accept any outcome. For the most part, I just feel very detached. I would not choose to go back to it. But then again, there's a part of me that sometimes desires it and wants to, but I know I would never act on that part of me. And it's like all of these parts of us exist and are always going to exist, and you might always have a part of you that feels insecure or that wants a certain attachment or desires certain things or wants external validation. You might have these thoughts pop into your head, and that doesn't mean that it's who you are. It's just your ego. And we have all these different feelings and experiences and beliefs and thoughts, and they all exist. They're all a part of us. And we get to choose which ones we act on. And we get to just experience them all and accept them and not resist them. And that's when being human becomes a lot more enjoyable, at least in my experience. But I still just had this like 1% of me that felt attached, that I was like, I'm not sure what it is that I can't let go of, because I've really like dug into this, analyzed this attachment. And I was just like, I feel like I'm so close to being detached, but something is still there. But I'm not in a rush. Like, I could live like this forever. I'm totally content. I know that things just take time, and that how we feel is not how we're gonna feel forever. I did this letting go meditation, like stepping into your new life or something like that meditation. And after that, I kind of had this realization that not all of my actions are actually aligned with moving on. And sometimes I'll watch like tarot readings about this person. I'm like curious about what they're doing or what they're feeling, what they're thinking. And I feel like I'm detached because my mood is not swayed either way. Like, whatever the outcome is, it doesn't determine my mood. It doesn't determine my happiness. I know I can be happy with any outcome, and I'm not attached to any outcome. But I'm still attached energetically to this person every time that I am curious about their energy and then act on that curiosity. So I realize that that's something that I need to stop doing, is just stop feeding this part of me at all, this part of me that is thinking about this energy and curious about it. But again, if it comes up, like, I'm gonna accept it, I'm gonna honor my feelings, but not act on them. Because that's how you actually detach, that's how you heal from things. Because you can't control your feelings. You should accept your feelings, you should not resist your feelings, but you can't control your actions, and that's who you really are. Even though we aren't really anything, because everything is always changing, but I feel like your actions are the closest to, or I guess that your actions are what is creating your reality, and your actions are what's gonna reflect back to you. So yeah, I think that me acting on this attachment in any way is what was still attaching me to this energy a little bit. Obviously, if I was completely detached, I wouldn't be watching tarot readings about it. I wouldn't be making any decisions based on this attachment. So even though that I thought that I wasn't acting on the attachment because if this person were to come back to me, I wouldn't get back with them, I still was acting on it in a certain way. And I'm not sure exactly how this applies to like alcohol or drugs or attachments like that. I think with situations like that, there are going to be like friends and places and habits and stuff that you also need to let go of that are associated with those things. Because anytime that we're releasing a relationship, important friendships, or drugs or alcohol, or even if you use like food or things like that as a coping mechanism, anytime that we're releasing an attachment like that, you're essentially releasing the old you, your old life. It's like this huge transformation process. It's the completion of a cycle. And so you have to completely let go of your old life and your old self and not feel like you need it, and be willing to let go of it and surrender, and not engaging in those same behaviors and belief systems and habits and thoughts. For the past 2 months, I've literally been journaling like for hours every day, like almost writing down like every solid thought that I have. And it's really helping me identify my beliefs and thoughts and understand myself, and helping me shed the old me and determine what is the old me, what do I want to bring with me, what do I want to let go of, and really identifying all of those things. And that's been really helpful. And I think that anytime that I go through a process like this again, or anytime I experience loss or grief in my life, I want to do this because it's really helped me work through this really quickly. Like, I feel like most people don't get over breakups this quickly. And it wasn't because it was in a great relationship or it was toxic or anything like that. Like, he really felt like a soulmate. We really got along so well. It was such a healing, great experience. But at the same time, I do think we outgrew each other. But I think the reason that I was able to heal from it so quickly is because every single time I had an emotion, I literally sat with it. I felt it. I spent hours journaling every day, like feeling all my feelings, analyzing everything, trying to turn my grief into art, and trying to learn all of the lessons it was trying to teach me, and allow this experience to help me become a better version of me, and to help me identify who I want to be and what belief systems are no longer serving me. With the amount of healing I've done in the past year, I'm like, of course I'm not going to be with the person that I was with 5 years ago. And obviously there are going to be times where you are guided to help people, you're intuitively guided to deliver certain messages to people, to say certain things to people, and to help people in certain ways. But really ask yourself, is this coming from a place of fear, of insecurity, of feeling like I need to control the situation, of feeling uncomfortable that this person is suffering and feeling like I need to fix it? Or is this just coming from a place of love and wholeness, and I just feel like I want to do this from a place of intuition and not from this like lack mentality or fear mentality? And in this phase of healing, I really like have to check myself every time I go to take an action and be like, where is this coming from? Because at this point, I still have both of these sides of me like very active. But it's really easy for me to identify which version of me I'm being, and to choose to be the one that is acting out of love and not fear. But I did recently end a friendship with a friend who I felt myself falling into my codependent ways and like wanting to always help her and try to give her answers to her problems. And this test kept coming up and I kept failing it. I just kept trying to give her the answers and trying to tell her what to do. And I was just like, I feel like I just need to remove myself from the situation. I need to take a step away from this like entirely, and what this person is reflecting back to me. And I think it's gonna be best for them also. Like, I feel like they are such a beautiful, amazing person, and they have everything they need within them. And this will allow them to like actually heal and take control of their healing and build confidence and build trust with themselves. And I feel like I was actually like hindering them in that way, because they would be like, I'm so grateful to you, you have helped me so much, like you're the reason I'm healed, like all this stuff. And I would just be like, no, like you're the reason you're healed, you're the one who did all the work. But it is important for us to take control of our own healing and like build that confidence and build that trust with ourselves, and trust with our own discernment, and not feeling like we need anyone else. And if you can't do that, then you're only gonna ever get to a certain phase of healing. So I do find comfort in the fact that even when I'm like not helping people and I'm maybe abandoning people in a way, I do think it's literally what's best for them. And like, you're never really hurting anyone, because even when we trigger people, like well, that's a wound that they need to heal if they're getting triggered. If they feel pain, that's something that they need to address. And so if you're causing pain in someone, you're helping them heal, you're helping them realize that this is something they should address. Although not everyone is gonna realize that and gonna look at their pain more deeply. And obviously I'm not saying like just be a horrible person or like purposely hurt people or anything like that. Like I would never intentionally hurt someone, but it's definitely important to just put yourself first and love yourself and prioritize yourself, even if sometimes that hurts people a little bit, because the reality is it's not gonna hurt them if you act like that. It's actually gonna help them be able to heal themselves and become the best version of themselves. Now this is like reminding me of my last crown chakra video where I was releasing attachment. It's funny how we go through these cycles over and over, but they really are like on such a different level each time. Like I'm at such a different place with this whole concept, but it's like literally the same lesson at the same time. It's really interesting. So I'm like wondering what my next root lesson will be. Might have to finally face my fear of bugs, which actually has been getting way better, so I feel like it might not be that bad. But maybe I'll start like coexisting with bugs. We'll see. I'll keep you guys updated. Thanks so much for watching. If you made it this far, let me know if this video resonated with you. Leave a comment. Let me know what's going on in your life, what you're going through, if you're going through something similar. I love reading your comments and connecting to you guys, and I feel like we're all in this together. We're all experiencing very similar things, and it's really beautiful to be able to connect with all of you. So I really appreciate when you guys do leave comments. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you have an amazing night and new moon.